It isn't just the lyrics, it's the beat.
Thank you for joining me on this week's Retrospect as we explore 60s garage and proto-punk from all over the world. Set of three, starting off in Canada with the Purple Haze, Love Is Fine. Then over to the UK. A band originally known as the Sorcerers, they'd played across Europe for a couple of years, releasing a number of Germany-only singles before, in 1967, returning to Birmingham in the UK. They changed their name to The Young Blood, signed to Pi Records, releasing their debut in 1968. Young Blood, this one, third of three tracks they recorded. The first two made onto a 45. This one I don't think did, but it did appear on a comp called Psychedelic Schlemiels 2. More lost sounds from the Brit psych scene, 1967 to 1969. It was called Soda Water Party from Young Blood. Then to South Africa with a cover of The Who's I'm a Boy, A-side of a 1968 single on Rave Records out of South Africa. The band, called the Hoochie Coochies, they had a number of 45s. In 68, their final one, 1969, and 1969, also an LP on a label called True Tone called Sock It To You. South Africa's Hoochie Coochies with The Who's I'm a Boy.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Retrospect Garage Punk Radio.
Down to this part of the world, starting off in Australia with a band out of Adelaide, Australia, recorded for Festival Records, 7-inch 45 from 1969. This band is called Hugo. This is the B-side of the 45, Hey Watch Out.
Why don't you?
It's Retrospect 60s Garage Punk Show, episode 575, exploring garage from all over the world. And we went all over the world here, well, both sides. Hugo, Australian band, track called Hey Watch Out. Then from here in New Zealand, a band called The Smoke. Some of the best singles out of New Zealand in the 60s. I selected the track No More Now. That was a 45 backed with Never Trust Another Woman. They also recorded a very much Jimi Hendrix influenced track called Control Your Love. All of these apparently released in Europe as well, where they did particularly well. So Smoke out of New Zealand, No More Now. Thirdly, in the set, over to Wales in the UK. The band is called Sunshine Theatre, described as mod psych out of Wales, a 33 RPM single that wasn't released until 1971, although it definitely sounds like 1966 or 1967. The track is called Mountain from Welsh band Sunshine Theatre.
Did what you hear? Yeah! Check out back episodes of Retrospect, 60s Garage Punk radio show and podcast. Always available across all good podcasting providers, including Apple Podcasts, TuneIn.com, Stitcher Radio, Blueberry, Player.fm, MyTuner Radio, Mixcloud, Castbox, Podbean, Pod Directory, and many more.
Yeah.
Well, let's go down to Central and South America now. This next band, you can see them on our Facebook and Instagram. If you haven't followed me on both of those platforms, what's stopping you? Starting off with Los Gatos Salvajes, or the Wild Cats, one of the first Argentinian rock bands formed in Rosario in 1963. One of the first bands to compose and perform their tracks actually in Spanish. Had a self-titled LP in 1965. Los Gatos Salvajes. This is Estoy Llorando. Three tracks out of South America. Starting off in Argentina with Los Gatos Salvajes, Estoy Llorando. Then Los Max, Chilean beat pioneers, from an LP released on RCA Victor in 1967, Considered a milestone in the development of popular music in Chile, very much under the influence of the British invasion, covers of the Stones and the Hollies, also Bob Dylan. So Los Max, the LP called GG Session, track called The Wanderer, of course, cover of Dion. Finally in the set, our friends Los Belkings out of Peru, fusing instrumental rock with jazz and Caribbean rhythms, founded January 1963 by Wilfredo Sandoval Moreno, who introduced the track. Bunch of LPs, 1967 through to 1973. Very cool track from Los Belkings called Autopista, and give them a follow on Facebook. Los Belkings, they're particularly active on there and very much into preserving and celebrating the historical music of Peru.
Check out Retrospect on Apple Podcasts, where you can rate each show and leave a review for Retrospect.
It's not nice.
And of course, subscribe.
It was bad.
For your weekly fix of cool 60s garage.
I'm not finished.
To Japan now, starting off an all-Asian set with the Beavers from November 1967. One of their popular tracks, it's called Why Baby Why. Their only LP is well worth checking out. Covers of I'm a Man, the Yardbirds Over, Under, Sideways, Down. They also cover the Stones' She's a Rainbow. The Beavers, Why Baby Why.
Why baby why 教えてよ